We're going to start off with the oil embargo of the 1970s. That event affected the design and engineering behind every vehicle that followed it. In the late 70s, Ford had just introduced the Fox Body Mustang, and sales were good. Not great, but decent. Shortly after this, someone at Ford thought we need to come up with a replacement for the Fox Body. And since we own 25% of Mazda, why not look to them for this vehicle? Let's make it front-wheel drive. Let's make it fuel efficient. And let's not put a V8 in it. They also thought in order not to freak out the Mustang faithful, they'd continue with the Fox Body and sell it alongside this new Mustang. They would call it the Classic Mustang. We're going to fast forward to April of 1987. Auto Week magazine broke the story to the public. Now, you have to understand, half the folks at Ford, especially those in the motorsports department, didn't like this decision at all. And when the public heard about it, they really blew a gasket. They wrote letters, and not just a few hundred or not a few thousand, tens of thousands of letters poured into Dearborn. They let them know their disgust in the thought that a Mustang would be Japanese, front-wheel drive, and not have a V8 in it. Now, Ford had already been far along in the production process of this new car. They had a contract with Mazda to build it. Mazda had built a manufacturing facility in Flat Rock. Of course, if they called it the new Mustang, the Mustang faithful would be storming Dearborn with torches and pitchforks. So that wasn't going to work either. Ford decided they needed to sell this new car, but they were going to leave the Mustang alone, let it continue along as it had. But they needed a name for this car. And I have to think the people that thought that this would make a great Mustang, this Mazda front-wheel drive four-cylinder car, also came up with a name, because it's one of the worst in automotive history, the Probe.
Did they give you an anal probe?
Ah, what's an anal probe?
That's when they put this big metal hoopajou up your butt.
That's the car we're going to take a look at today.
Critical acclaim for our performance.
The new Ford Probe is one of the finest front-wheel drive performance cars in the world.
The GT suspension is precise and responsive.
The futuristic exterior is matched by an interior that's open, airy, and modern.
The new Ford Probe and Probe GT, a performance you won't forget.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Introduced on May 12, 1988 as a 1989 model, the Ford Probe was available in three models, the GL, LX, and GT. All were a two-door hatchback with a split fold-down rear seat. The styling was aerodynamic and futuristic. The nose of the car was rounded and the front fenders swept smoothly into the mirrors. The rear glass wrapped around the entire car from C-pillar to C-pillar, and the taillights wrapped all the way around the rear of the car. The GL and LX were equipped with a Mazda 2.2-liter, 12-valve, multi-port fuel-injected 110 horsepower inline four-cylinder. This was mated to either a standard 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic. The Probe featured 4-corner independent suspension utilizing McPherson struts. Brakes were power disc front and drum rear. The GL was the standard Probe, while the LX was the upscale offering. The LX came with plushier carpeting, a remote liftgate and fuel door releases, passenger seat lumbar support and underseat storage, as well as electronic adjustable mirrors. Optional equipment included an electronic digital dash, electronic controlled air conditioning, a power driver's seat, leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob, power windows and locks, and a trip computer. The top shelf sound system was an AM/FM radio with cassette and CD player, as well as a 5th speaker subwoofer. GLs and LXs were equipped with 14-inch standard steel wheels with wheel covers or an optional 14-inch aluminum rim.
A performance you won't forget. The new Ford Probe GT.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
The Probe GT added an intercooled turbocharger to the 2.2-liter engine. This bumped up the horsepower to 145, and it delivered 190 pound-feet of torque. A 5-speed manual was the only available transaxle. The GT came with power 4-wheel disc brakes with the option for anti-lock. It also included higher rate springs, stiffer bushings, a larger stabilizer bar, and computerized automatic adjusting nitrogen gas-filled pressurized struts. Standard tires on a GT were P195/60 VR15 Goodyear Eagles. The GT also added appearance items such as a unique front fascia with fog lamps, aero protective cladding with integral rocker panel moldings, spats, and body side moldings. The GT featured a unique rear end treatment and spoiler, as well as sport cloth seat trim. MotorWeek's test had the Probe GT clock in at a 0 to 60 time of 7.6 seconds and across the quarter mile in 15.3 seconds at 92 miles per hour. The Probe proved to be popular with the automotive press and the buying public. Early on, Ford dealers charged prices over MSRP. Ford delivered 162,889 Probes for the 1989 model year. 1990 brings change to the Probe. The LX model now featured Ford's 140 horsepower 3-liter Vulcan V6 as its standard engine. The front fascia was changed slightly on the GL and LX, with the bumper cover sporting a larger grille opening and turn signal indicators. The GT saw an even larger grille, and the side cladding became shorter, extending only a few inches into the lower section of the body of the car. The GT also received new wheels for 1990. There were no other changes of note. Ford delivers 109,898 Probes in 1990.
When Ford introduced the Probe, the star of the auto shows became a real-life sensation. It looks like it just came off the drawing board. The interior is right out of the future, and the way it drives, it's so quick. The Probe from Ford. Have you ever priced one? They're very easy to get into.
1991 and 1992 brings little change to the Ford Probe. Sales continue to decline. Ford delivers 73,200 Probes in 1991 and only 41,035 Probes in 1992.
It doesn't come with a computer-generated voice to remind you of the blatantly obvious, or a complimentary timeshare in Banff. It comes with 16-inch performance radials, 4-wheel power disc brakes, and a 24-valve V6 engine. In short, what the pure performance enthusiast deems essential. The 1993 Ford Probe GT. 100% fat-free.
The 1993 model sees the Probe receive a complete redesign. The Probe model lineup is trimmed to only 2 models, the Standard Probe and the Probe GT. Ford, still in a partnership with Mazda, takes a larger role in the car's development. Ford engineers handling the body and interior of the car, with Mazda handling everything else. The car is now longer and wider, and yet it weighs 125 pounds less than the first generation Probe. The bodywork of the car is streamlined, and the cowl of the car is 2.7 inches lower than the first generation, giving it a cab-forward look. The interior now wraps around the driver with a console that separates the driver and passenger compartments, and all the driver controls are updated to be larger, more user-friendly, and within reach of the driver. A driver's side airbag becomes standard, allowing Ford to remove the passive restraint seatbelt system. The instrument clusters are all new and include a 120 mph speedometer, a tachometer, fuel gauge, water temperature, oil pressure, and voltmeter. The standard engine in the Probe was now the 2.0-liter double overhead cam, 115 horsepower, 16-valve Mazda 4-cylinder engine. New wheel covers are introduced for the standard 14-inch wheel, with a cast aluminum 15-inch wheel being optional. The Probe GT receives the 2.5-liter 164 horsepower 24-valve Mazda V6. Both engines can now be mated to the 5-speed manual or the 4-speed automatic transaxle. The GT adds many unique styling cues to the body and interior of the car. These include unique front and rear fascias, fog lamps, a leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob, a driver's seat with power lumbar and seat back bolster adjustment, and the GT identification logos on the interior and exterior of the car. The standard GT wheel setup is now a 5-spoke, 16-inch cast aluminum wheel with P225/50 VR16 Goodyear Gatorback tires. Car and Driver reports a 0 to 60 time of 7 seconds flat for the Probe GT, and it crosses the quarter mile in 15.5 seconds at 89 miles per hour. They recorded a top speed of 133 miles per hour. In mid-year, Ford offered an SE appearance package on the standard Probe. This offered a 3-spoke swirl-style alloy wheel, the GT model's ground effects, and the GT model's front bumper minus the fog lamps. Once again, the new Probe is applauded by the automotive press, with the 93 Probe winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year award and the interest of the auto buying public as well. Ford delivers 137,422 Probes in 1993. Also, for the first time, the car is offered for sale in Europe.
Into a world where convention rules comes a new challenger that dares to be different from the herd. The Probe. New from Ford.
Doesn't matter what the others say.
The Probe. Go your own way.
"1994 was almost a complete carryover year for the Probe, and sales of the Probe began to drop off. Ford delivered a solid 115,942 Probes in 1994. 1995, 1996, and 1997 brought little change to the Probe lineup. The SE package was dropped in 1997 and replaced with the GTS, which was an appearance package for the Probe GT. This included dual racing stripes available either in black or white over the top of the car. Ford delivers 67,288 Probes in 1995, 38,586 Probes in 1996, and only 22,013 Probes in 1997. The last Probe rolled off the assembly line on June 20th, 1997. There was development of a third-generation Probe. However, lackluster sales squashed that idea. That car eventually would become the 8th-generation Mercury Cougar. So the car that was to be a Mustang that became the Probe eventually became the Cougar. Yeah, it's kind of odd. The Probe could never be a replacement for the Mustang. It wasn't a pony car. What it was a decently reliable, sporty-looking touring car. And that's it. Now, there'll be very few horror stories about this vehicle in the comments section. I'm sure those that bought one new enjoyed the vehicle. It was a nice car. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. That way other people see it. Also, consider subscribing. There's plenty of videos like this on the channel. Like this one right over here. It's on the Ford Mustang SVO. There were people at Ford that thought this was the future of the Mustang. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll see you.